So I'd like to now welcome my next guest to the Navigant Credit Union Broadcast Center. I do believe the Director of the Department of Corrections is around the corner. Mr. A.T. Wall, sir, thank you for coming in today.
Well, thank you, Kate, for hosting us.
Well, I appreciate it. This is the new Broadcast Center. What do you think?
I'm impressed. It is not what I expected.
It's lean, mean, and we get the message out.
That's my impression. That's certainly what it advertises.
Well, when we had gotten in touch with you, we wanted to talk with you because you have a message to get out, and that is recruitment of correctional officers.
You are so right, Kate. We are recruiting correctional officers. We began the recruitment with a big public announcement on March the 1st. And recruitment will continue until the 22nd of March. We are really looking for a large and diverse pool to staff the corrections department.
So talk a little bit, I saw you had a diverse coalition of folks who turned out for it. Give us a little bit, let's start with the nuts and bolts. You have to be 18 years of age.
Yes.
And what are the qualities, what makes a good correctional officer in your estimation?
To people who don't really understand the profession, they think it's about strength and bulk. It isn't by any means. It's really about character, good judgment, leadership ability, a desire to help people make changes in their lives. Those are the skills that we look to see.
So what are we talking numbers? How many correctional officers are there in the system right now, and how many are you looking to recruit ultimately?
We generally recruit classes that start at about 65 people. There's sometimes some attrition, although in the most recent class there was none, which was interesting.
Wow.
Yes, so people apparently want these jobs. That's generally where we start. In terms of correctional personnel, we have about 1,360 at this point.
Okay, wow. So once someone applies, and the end date is March 22nd, what does the process look like moving forward? If you apply and they say, we'd like you to come in.
Yes. First you have to meet the minimum requirements, as you said, 18 years of age, high school diploma or general equivalency diploma. Mm-hmm. Those are two of the most important requirements. Have to be able to speak English fluently, although that does not preclude the ability to speak other languages as well. That's a bonus, it's a plus.
Okay.
So those are the kind of minimum requirements, and then we put you through a process whereby you have to pass written exams and video exams, and we also have a physical fitness component. It all then is passed on to senior staff where we conduct individual interviews with each candidate and make a final decision.
So again, from March 22nd, when would you expect that new correctional officers will be in there and working?
We are estimating toward the latter part of this year.
Okay.
It's a 9-week academy, but the selection process is rigorous. Lots of background checks, lots of criminal history checks. So it takes a while. And then when the class comes together, there's the 9 weeks of actual training at the academy.
So why don't you to let folks know about that, and folks can go online to Department of Corrections and the application process and everything is there, correct?
Yes,
okay.
They can go to a site called www.network.org.
Okay, www.network.org. You heard it here for correctional officers. What's the pay scale?
While you're in the academy, you get a stipend because we're taking a risk with you. So that's about $500 per week.
Okay.
However, upon graduation, you start at a salary in excess of $50,000. And the benefits are generous as well. Pension plan, paid health care for you and your family, paid vacation. It's not an easy job, and those things should come with it.
And you're in prisons, they're around the clock, and so what is, for a person who's just starting out as a correctional officer, what does a week look like? What does a shift look like? I'm probably, mixing up terms here, but if you're going to be a new correctional officer, what does your week look like?
Generally speaking, you will be on either the 3 to 11 shift, occasionally the 11 to 7, sometimes the 7 to 3. And some of that is because shifts are bid by seniority, and 7 to 3 fills up pretty quickly. 11 to 7, we don't want you to be on 11 to 7 for a prolonged period of time when you get out of the academy, because that's not really where you're going to see the action. That's not where you're really going to be walking the beat, interacting with inmates, looking at the environment, and so forth. I liken our correctional officers to community police, except that their beat is behind the walls and fences.
So what should folks know? So people who haven't been to prisons or see how it operates, from your time there, what have you seen? I mean, what should folks know about what takes place behind the walls?
They should know that it's quite different than what they see when they turn on their televisions.
Okay.
That the fact of the matter is that for the most part, the institutions are clean, they're quiet, they're orderly, that the interactions between staff and inmates are professional, and that there is a sense that our staff are taking seriously their responsibility for everyone's safety.
Mm-hmm.
Safety is our bottom line. If staff don't feel safe, inmates don't feel safe, visitors don't feel safe, members of the public don't feel safe, nothing good is going to happen there. So the fundamental obligation is to be vigilant, to be responsive to issues that might be emerging, all in the interest of keeping everybody safe.
And talk with us a little bit about maybe rehabilitation efforts that take place behind the walls, education, training for the inmates. What does their day look like? What are the opportunities for them that when they get out, that they're able to be productive members back of society?
We've been successful in ramping up programs considerably, Kate. It used to be that most of the emphasis was on custody and control. That was then. This is now. Of course, that's the baseline, as I said before. However, we have implemented a number of educational programs, and they're, interestingly, the most popular and successful ones. There is also a correctional industries operation where you can practice your vocational skills. There are specific groups for people who, for example, are sex offenders or who might have very serious substance abuse issues. It's a whole variety, actually, and we think that the programming has helped not only them to move on and to better lives, but it also is a way of making the time they're in custody productive.
Mm-hmm. And last year we did see up at the State House there were some bills that didn't make it through. Obviously you keep an eye on what happens at the state level. What are you advocating for up at the State House?
There's a package of bills that are known collectively as justice reinvestment. And we have been through that process before very successfully on the institutional side. We stabilized the population. We were able to introduce some new ideas. And then we decided this time around to focus on community corrections, probation, parole, the people out under supervision, post-release. That has been our focus this time around, and that package made it almost to the finish line.
It was out of the Senate, but didn't make it out of the House, and there was a lot of attention paid to it because of what happened. Do you think this year, because folks, and especially the general public, has maybe even a better understanding, do you think you'll see that succeed this year?
I am optimistic, yes. We did not receive a hearing in the House last year. This year we have received a hearing, and it was very substantive, and a lot of really good points were made and questions were asked. So I am optimistic that it will pass in this session.
Okay, fantastic. Anything else folks should know? Again, you're in here, you want to talk to them about the recruitment effort for correctional officers. Anything we left out or folks really should know about?
We are looking for a wide pool of people with a variety of skills and attributes. And we certainly celebrate diversity at the Department of Corrections. We want to see a workforce that reflects the diversity of the state of Rhode Island. And to that end, we are making it very clear that everyone, regardless of age, regardless of faith, regardless of ethnicity, regardless of all those factors, anyone is welcome to apply. We would really like an opportunity to consider you, and we believe it's the best job decision you could make.
Okay, now as I said, you had that very diverse array of folks come to kick off the recruitment effort through March 22nd. Again, networkri.org. We will have that on the piece when you check in later. If you're watching live, you can go to that right now. So I appreciate your coming in. Again, Director of Corrections, A.T. Wall. I appreciate you talking about the correctional officer recruitment effort. Find out more about this job opportunity. And hopefully we'll have you in soon to talk about more things going on.
That would be delightful.
Okay,
Thanks so much, Kate,
Thanks
for giving us
coming
this
in.
Publicity and opportunity.
Of course. I appreciate it. And we'll scoot you around and we'll get our last guest in here. So I wish you a good afternoon.
Thank you.
Okay, that was A.T. Wall, the Director of Corrections here in Rhode Island, and talking with us about the corrections officer recruitment effort that is currently underway. Again, if you go to networkri.org, until March 22nd, was speaking a little bit about what they're looking for, including diversity and folks looking to maybe consider this as a career path. Talked about the process that you go through, but he, again, was in today looking to get the word out about this. So check it out there, and I'm sure we'll have him back on soon with that going on here in the state.